for me, like the mental part, I give it a big importance. I know how important it is, the mental part, you know.
Yeah.
Like especially in Thailand, like the physical part, everybody's training hard. All the Thais are training hard. They've been training more than me also. Like they started at a young age, but I didn't. So the mental part, it's the difference between foreigners and the Thais. You know,
Right.
like the mental edge.
Okay. So how do you mean by that? It's the difference between the foreigners and the Thais. What do you mean by that?
The difference is that like it's all about like the mental edge before the fight. You know, like physically, we are all ready. You know, we are all training hard. We are all kicking pads, doing sparring, clinching. You know, so when you enter the ring, there's gonna be some difference in the mental part with the self-belief, the confidence. You know, this is what differentiates the two.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So like the skills, we're both training. So we are both ready, but mentally it's what makes the difference. Like this is what I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. No, totally. I totally agree. And I've got like quite a few questions, so we'll dip into these in turn about confidence, self-belief.
Sure,
But
sure,
before that, if we can just go back to when you got started, how you got started, and yeah, just tell us about that experience.
sure. I started at a young age, but in Lebanon, in my country, it's not like same as Thailand. It's not anywhere same as Thailand, but like in Lebanon, the fights are lower level. The
Mm.
Muay Thai, it's not fully Muay Thai. It's just fighting, you know. So I've had around 20 amateur fights in Lebanon. I started at a young age, like I was 9 years old, but still I'm not the same like a 9 years old kid in Thailand because 9 years old kid in Thailand he has like 50 fights. He's fighting professionally. He's
Yeah.
fighting in big stadiums, so it's different.
Yeah.
But I decided to move to Thailand when I was 19. I moved to Thailand. Now I'm 23. I moved to Thailand. I have now around 22 fights.
Okay.
22 professional fights. So this decision, like, it was the best decision that I've made, training in Thailand and fighting in Thailand, because like even even foreigners, like they fight in their countries and everything, but here fighting is different and the training is different. And also like the difference is like giving all your time to the training and to Muay Thai. It's different than like in Lebanon, we have professional fighters, and even in Europe and everywhere, we have professional fighters, but they are not fully committed to the game. Like they don't wake up and train, then in the afternoon they train. No, they have to go to their job, go to the school, go to university. So it's not 100% focused on the Muay Thai.
Yeah. Yeah. So we just go back to the start when you said you had 20 amateur fights.
Yeah, around 20 amateur fights,
Okay.
but
So
between the youth championships and the juniors championships.
okay. So I mean, you started at like 9 years old, so that's very young. Uh,
Yeah,
how old were you when you had your first fight?
I was around 11, 12 years old, but I'm telling you, like the fights in Lebanon, they have many rules, like for the kids, like okay, only 2 rounds, each round 1 minute, fully protection and everything. So many rules, and the fights is not more about skills, it's just about fighting, you know, just fighting. And even like the scoring, I don't know how it is. It's just
Okay.
fighting.
Did, did,
Yeah.
did they declare a winner in the junior bouts?
Uh,
Did they declare a winner for this fight?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There was like later they changed it, maybe like where 12 years old and below, it's a draw,
Okay.
but it wasn't in my days,
Okay.
luckily, because still like even if it wasn't like a full professional fight, I wanted to win. So
So, can you tell us about that experience in your first fight at 11? Very young age to get in there and have a fight. Even with the protection, you're still getting in to the ring and having a fight with another kid. Uh,
yeah.
so how did the fight come about? Like, did you request a fight, or did your coach say, "Oh, this kid's looking all right. We should make him fight"? How did the fight come about?
Yeah, I tell you, like, I can't recall everything. I can't remember everything because I was young, but it was like a school championship. So, like, it was at a young age. No, at my gym there was a championship for the kids, so they just put me in, and my father supported like this decision. He wanted me to fight. He wanted me
Okay.
to take a championship. But I tell you again, like Muay Thai in Lebanon was same like Taekwondo, you know,
Right.
like it's just fighting, but not so much damage, too much protection, so many rules.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't recall a lot of
Okay. Okay.
what
So,
happened.
so when would you say what would you class as your first real fight then?
My, I've had like real fights, and you can say when I fought the Class A championship, I was around 16, 17. I fought Class A championship. It was a real fight.
Yeah.
But like the real fights are here in Thailand, just because in Lebanon, as I told you, as everyone, the preparation wasn't like that good. I wasn't that focused. I wasn't that mature to be focused. So I was just fighting because I love the game, but I didn't like take it as a career or something.
Okay.
Although I liked it, but I had school, I had exams, and even like the training in Lebanon, it's like 3 times per week. Like you just staying fit, doing an activity,
Yeah.
and in the end you get a fight just for fun.
Yeah.
But then like I really wanted to compete at a good level and high level. This is when I moved to Thailand. But even before I moved to Thailand, I requested a professional fight like in Holland. Like even I paid for everything. I paid for the ticket, I paid for the
Right.
hotel, I paid for the flight just to fight because this is what I wanted to do. So I
Okay.
went there and I had my first professional fight and first professional win.
Okay. And what age was this? This was the 16-year-old.
This was no, I was 17 when I went to Holland.
17. Okay. And what
Yeah,
class was that? C class, B class, A class?
it was I think C class.
C class. Yeah.
Like
Okay.
even this championship that I fought in Holland, it wasn't like the uh, biggest promotion, you know. But I just want to fight professionally because in Lebanon we don't have the opportunities, we don't have the championships to fight often, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So if we just talk a bit about this first fight in Holland, obviously it's a big deal. You're leaving your country. You know, you've paid for it yourself.
Yeah.
So can you just talk us through like how you're feeling when it's all been confirmed, flights are booked, you know it's on. How are you feeling at this point?
Yeah. Okay. So this was my first professional fight. I was so excited. Like I even requested the fight. Like no one came to me and told me you have to fight in Holland. So I was excited for the fight. I was still in school,
Yeah.
and like I was still in school. I still had to go to school, but I skipped school just to travel to Holland and come back. I even took a permission from them, and I was so focused on my training. Like as I told you, like the gym only had three trainings per week.
Yeah.
No, this is normal in Lebanon. That's like the schedule. But I used to train alone. I used to wake up in the morning, go running. I used to take private sessions with the coach,
Okay.
just because like I was excited for the fight and I wanted to win the fight. Like I didn't want to just go to Holland to participate in the championship. No, I wanted to win the fight.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, because it was such a big deal and you put your own money on the line, your first opportunity, it was
Exactly,
more excitement. Uh,
exactly.
okay. Any nerves creeping in about the upcoming competition? Any nerves? Did you experience any nervousness or any
No,
anxiety around?
it's normal. Like before every fight, nervous is normal. But as I told you, like this fight, it was like even before I fight, like when you're alone in your head and you're thinking, like, oh, what am I doing here? But like I had the answers. Like I wanted to be here. I was excited. I chose to be here. Like paying to come here, you know. So like it was my choice. No one forced me to do it. So there was nervousness because first professional fight, and still like before the fight, it's always like there's the result is unknown, so there is nervousness,
Yeah.
but still there's like a fire. You're excited. You want to fight. And when I stepped into the ring, like I wasn't like it was my first professional fight, so I didn't fight so smart, but I didn't stop. I just wanted to get the win.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I didn't care much about my performance. It was my first professional fight. I just didn't stop because I wanted to win.
Yeah. Yeah. And how did the fight go?
I won by decision against the opponent was tough too. You
Okay.
know, like he was so big. We were the same weight, but he was so muscular.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah,
So if I just go back to something you said there, you said like sometimes when I think it was either you said the thoughts creep in or the voices creep in and you always
yeah.
have the answer. So like how often like so sorry, when would that happen? And you know, and how often would it happen?
Okay, so for me, like I consider that my career started when I came to Thailand. You know, I started working on my skills more, on my mental skills, and like focusing more. But these thoughts, they come usually they come before the fight, like
Like
exactly before
the,
the fight.
the day of the fight or like when you're about to step into the ring? Or?
When you're about to step in the ring, usually, like even the first couple fights, but now they just come like when they tell me I have a fight, I get so excited. But during the fight camp, when I'm preparing, these thoughts always come. But the good thing, like you have time to prepare because, like, if I thought, oh, maybe like I'm not punching good, okay,
Yeah.
I have time to train my punches.
Okay.
Maybe like I'm not training enough, okay, I have time to train enough. Maybe my stamina is not so good, okay, I'll work on it. So that's good to have these thoughts just in fight camp.
Yeah.
But like I try to like before the fight, I just shut down everything. Like every thought that comes, I just don't give it any attention because like it just like ruins your performance because like I'm sitting before the fight 5 minutes before I step in. I'm thinking about all these things like maybe my punches are not strong enough, maybe my stamina is not good, but I can't change anything. Like I should have worked on it during the fight camp. So that's why it's good to have these thoughts during the fight camp because I had time to work on it. But now, like with experience, now I've had 22 fights. I can like shut down these thoughts easily, and like I know how to control my mind because like I know it's playing games on me, but now I understood the game, so I know how to control it.
Yeah, that's fantastic, fantastic advice. Yeah. So it sounds like
Yeah,
you've really got a full
because
like
like
a
every
very
time I think about the same thing, like the same thoughts come to your mind. So now I have all the answers. So that's where confidence comes from also.
yeah, yeah. So it sounds like you have like an awareness. You're very aware of your own thoughts and
Exactly. Because many times, like in the beginning, the few couple fights I've had in the beginning, like I've had questions before the fights and doubts, and then I enter the ring. Like my mind is clear. I fight, I win, I finish, and then I ask myself, why was I worried? What was I worried about? Like
yeah,
why was I wasting my energy and just not enjoying the fight and thinking about things that didn't even happen? So with experience, I learned that I'm just overthinking everything. Just go and enjoy it.
yeah, yeah. Was there ever a time when it did affect your performance, maybe in a negative way, where maybe you did have the thoughts and as a result you didn't perform as well?
Yeah, it happened. It happened. Like it happened in the beginning
Okay.
because like now I just like for me I'm okay with losing a fight. I hate losing a fight, but I'm okay with it if my opponent is better than me, more skilled than me, more talented. He fought smarter, but I don't want to lose just because I beat myself inside my mind. So since I moved to Thailand, I just like worked on my mental side by not beating myself. If I lose, okay, I lost. I hate it, but it happened. But I don't want to lose because I beat myself mentally or because during the training camp I didn't give 100%. So every fight I go in, I have no regrets because I did everything in the training camp, and mentally I'm ready. So I'm going there to win. If I lost, I don't like it, but it happened. There's nothing that I can change. I can like get better for the next fight, but at least I didn't beat myself.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what I mean, it's not you've got a very good, you know, I mean, 22 fights. It's quite experienced. Obviously, it depends on if you compare it to a Thai who's had 300. Then, you know,
Exactly.
but at such a young age, you know, compared to like you know, Lebanon and the European fighters, it's still quite a lot of professional fights. But you seem to have this, you know, a very strong awareness of the mind. So, where did you learn all this? Was it in the camp?
I've been yeah, I've been like I'm like since a young age I was like I liked reading about like preparation for competitions mentally and everything, and all these motivational videos, and I, I loved it, you know. But then I started reading books. Like there were many mental coaches, mental trainers that read books like Tim Grover, yeah, the trainer of Michael Jordan. Like
Okay.
these books helped me a lot. Although I don't read books, but like this topic, it's so interesting for me,
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Yeah,
and I found like many benefits, and I was getting benefits, and it was helping me. So it made me more interested to learn more.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's excellent. So it's obviously all on you're doing it all yourself rather than you know, so you're getting the physical training from the trainers in the camp, and then the mental side you're taking care of on your own.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. And this is the advantage that I'm talking about, and the difference between some foreigners and the Thais. Like you were talking about, like the Thais have 300 fights. So yeah, when I'm stepping into the ring and I see my opponent and they tell me he has 300 fights, I should have at least, like he has the experience advantage. I should have an edge or advantage too. So this is where the mental part comes, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so if we just talk a little bit about your training, obviously you've said that in Lebanon it was 3 times a week, but you do that extra bit. You were going for the runs, doing PTs because you wanted to commit so you could do well in the fights in Holland. See, now you're in Thailand, it's like twice a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, very intense. Do you ever struggle for motivation to train before the session and during the session?
Yeah, motivation, yeah, like especially when you don't have a fight, like I always like want to prepare for a fight. Like when you're just going to the gym, you don't have a goal,
Mm,
it's not motivating, but I do it anyway. Like this is where discipline kicks in, and this is where like the good thing about Thailand, especially for me, I have nothing else to do. So if I don't go to the gym, I just stay in bed all day.
okay.
It's so boring for me. Like even today, Sunday is recovery day, but I have nothing else to do. You know, even I had some Sundays I go train by myself. I go running just because it's the only thing that I do,
Yeah,
and I left no other option. It's not that I can't go to the beach, I can go out, I can go party. I just didn't leave any option for myself. I just want to train and commit myself 100% for the game. And sometimes I even question myself, like how was I fighting? Like even for Holland or when I was fighting 11 amateur, I was training just 3 times per week. Sometimes I train for twice per day, and I feel like it's not enough, you know. So that's why I don't talk much about my career when I was in Lebanon because I wasn't giving 100%. Maybe I just wasn't mature enough to give 100%. Ever since I moved to Thailand, and with every fight, I like give more effort.
yeah. So if we just go back to when you just said about obviously that intense schedule of 3 hours on a morning and 3 hours on an afternoon. Now you've also said it's quite hard to train when you don't have the goal, you don't have a fight coming up, but you said discipline kicks in as well, so you do it anyway. That's
Exactly.
pretty hard training. You're doing 10K on a morning every day. That's your warm up. You got pads twice a day.
Pads, it depends on the gym. Here in Phuket Fight Club, it's in the afternoon.
Yeah.
In the morning, focus more on clinching and
Yeah.
conditioning.
Yeah. Still, like 30 minutes of clinching and
Yeah, even more sometimes, even
yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah. So if you don't have the fight coming up, and just say it's getting to Friday, it's not quite the end of the week. You're tired, and you've done your morning session. You've got to go back on the afternoon. It's hot. You've got to hit pads, but there's no fight coming up. What do you say to keep that discipline? So when you're in there, how do you keep going?
Sometimes I motivate myself, like with okay, I have to, especially like here in Thailand, because you don't know. Like I've had a fight 1 week ago, and I
Yeah.
know about the fight. I woke up on a Monday morning. I saw on Facebook that they have a fight. I saw the fight poster that I'm fighting on Thursday. So sometimes you should stay prepared and ready here in time because you don't know when you'll have a fight.
Yeah.
But still, even if I'm not motivated, I just do it.
Okay.
I just put in the effort and I do it. Sometimes, like many times, I'm not feeling like going to training, but I have the best training session. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'm motivated, I'm excited, I'm full of energy. I go to the gym and I have the worst session.
Yeah.
Like I can't explain this and why it happens, but this is why every time I go to the gym in the morning, in the afternoon, I don't know how will I feel, how will I be feeling, but I just do it. Because
Okay.
sometimes the best training sessions, sometimes it's the worst. I can't decide. I just go. I train.
Okay. Okay. So you just remind yourself of these times when you haven't wanted to do it, you've done it anyway, and it's been a fantastic session.
Exactly. Like it happens a lot, and I have no explanation for it, but it happens a lot. Especially like here in Thailand, you train, as you said, 6 times, 6 days, twice per day. So some sessions you do good, some sessions are not so good, but you can't control it. You just have to be in the gym and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just talk about your fight record a little bit, you've had 22 fights.
Yeah.
What's the longest win streak that you've put together? How many fights in a row?
I've had 4 fights win streak.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stopped with a draw.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, then I won, and I've had some losses too.
Okay. Okay.
But this is the thing about time. Like it's like there are no perfect records. There are no undefeated fighters. There are winning streaks that last long, but
Mm.
there are also losing streaks. Like I didn't have any losing streak, but like you see some of the best fighters in time, they have like 8, 9 fights losing streak. Then they come back. One of them was the Nong O. I think when he was young, also he had a losing streak, and now he's the best fighter on the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So in Muay Thai, it's like this because there's a big quantity of fights. Like you're fighting a lot. You
Yeah.
know, like per month, sometimes you fight 3 times, 4 times. So you can't just keep a perfect record. It's not like MMA. You have 10 fights and you're undefeated.
Yeah. 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 Okay, well, I was just going to ask. Obviously, you've got the a good awareness of what the reality of fighting in Thailand is. You have that many fights, you're bound to lose some. But I was going to ask about how it can affect your confidence. So as you're putting the wins together, like how is your mindset? How is your confidence? And how is that affecting your training and your performance in the next fights?
Yeah, uh, for me, when I win, I'm always happy when I win, but I always go back to the video of the fight, and I always like pick the mistakes that I've done. Like more than like I don't celebrate my wins. I just go back to the video, study my fight, and see what can I do better. Like many times I finish the fight and people call me, "Oh, what an amazing fight, awesome and everything." But I watch the fight and I see like I always see the mistakes. Like maybe I'm so like I'm the biggest critic for myself because like people, my family, they are supporting me. They tell me it's good. They told me you're doing great, amazing fight. But for me, there's always mistakes and improvements to be made. So a win is so important for me. But when I finish a win, like I don't relax. I don't slack in training. It's the opposite. I train more because I want to catch that feeling again.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And how about when you've fought and you've come up short, you haven't won the fight? How's the feeling about that? And then how does that affect your training?
Yeah, yeah. So like if I win, I come back to the gym after 2 days. If I lose, I come back the next day. So losing, like I hate losing, but I think it's the biggest motivation. Losing is the biggest motivation because it sucks. The feeling is so bad. I personally don't like it. So I know and I'm aware that losses will come throughout my career, except if I pick my fights and I have very few fights. Yeah, I can become undefeated.
Hmm.
But if I'm just fighting at a good level and fighting more often, yeah, I will get losses, but I hate it and it motivates me a lot, like to come back to the gym and work on my mistakes. And like usually when I win, I have mistakes, but when I lose, I have more mistakes. So it's better because I can work in the gym more and I have a goal. I have something to work towards that I should fix this mistake, like that made me lose the fight.
Yeah.
So I don't do it again in the next fight.
Yeah. So on that note, then you've got the like just say you've come up short, but even you said when you've won a fight, you still pick the parts that you didn't do well in. You know, maybe your punches weren't great or whatever, and then you go back to
Exactly.
the gym and you work on them. So do you set specific goals for your training?
Exactly. Because you can't just go to the gym and just sit back, hit pads without any goal. You should have a goal, and like even in sparring, you should have a goal, not just punching and kicking. You should have a goal. Like maybe in the last fight, I wasn't blocking too much, so
Okay.
the next sparring session, I'll focus on blocking only. I always put a goal for the training session. Even when I'm tired, I just have a goal. I work towards. Do not repeat the same mistakes in the next fight.
Okay. Okay. How about, I mean, you mentioned before about is your stamina enough? Obviously, there's a lot of hard training in terms of kicks on the pads, running. How do you set the goals for the stamina in training?
The stamina and conditioning training, like especially here in Thailand, it's like picked by the trainers because like they go so hard. Like even on the pads, like they start the round with 30 kicks, they finish the round with 50 kicks,
Okay.
do skipping knees 200, 300. Like it's crazy here. So you
Yeah.
just have to push yourself and be mentally tough to continue the training and do it. And even in addition to the exercise the trainers specify, I do my own exercises also just to like separate myself from this because the whole gym is doing the 200 knees, so I should do like 300 just to improve more.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess it
So
also
this
gives you that mental edge as well that, you know, you know
exactly,
a bit more. Yeah.
yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like all the Thais are training and all the Thais are being forced by the trainers to do the 200 skipping knees, 50 kicks. So what's special about me? Like this is how I think before the fight. What's special about me that will make me win the fight and not my opponent? It's that I did 300 knees, not 200. I did 100 kicks, not 50. You know, this is where the mental edge comes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's knowing that you've done more, knowing you've trained hard to the best of your abilities, and you've done more than everyone else. That
Exactly.
to go in.
So this is why before the fight I just enjoy it because before the fight I'm sitting and I'm relaxed. I have a clear mind that I've done everything and I've done more than my opponent.
Yeah.
So I'm confident that I would win the fight.
Yeah. Has there ever been someone you fought who's like a significantly higher level than you? Because in Thailand, this happens a lot. You can fight, you know, there could be a change of opponent, and all of a sudden you get someone who's a big step up. Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah, many times. Like it always happens because like when your name gets better in time, they start picking like even a higher level opponents. So I've had many times like high level opponents.
Okay.
Some I lost to and some I won. But even the one I lost to, like I saw like some opponents before the fight. I watched the videos like they're knocking everyone out. They're like winning the fight easily. But even when I fought them and I lost, I was like the biggest challenge for them. And I wasn't an easy opponent. They just won because they are more experienced and more skilled. And other fighters also more experienced and more skilled from me, but I won the fight.
Okay. Okay. So how was it the fights that you lost against the more experienced fighters compared to the ones that you won? How was your mindset going in to those fights?
The mindset was the same. Like even the fight when I was looking what should I improve mentally, like mentally I didn't do like any mistakes. Maybe I was just overthinking more, but it was the technical side that
Okay.
made me lose the fight. You know, especially here in Thailand, you know, sometimes you lose a fight because of one sweep or one kick
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
stop. It happens a lot, especially in 5 rounds fights.
Yeah.
It's not just about mentally and having good conditioning. Sometimes your opponent is so technical, he sweeps you one time and you lose the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I mean,
Yeah, so this is what happened many times.
okay. Okay. Yeah. What I was getting at was when you did have that step up in opponent, did you ever, did the thoughts creep into your head of, oh my God, this guy's really experienced. I don't stand a chance. And if so, how did you deal with that?
Thoughts creeped in, but like even like my first time I fought like a very good opponent and he was a high level and I was watching his videos and he was knocking everyone out.
Who is this
Like
guy? Who was
uh,
the guy you
the,
fought? Can you remember the
uh,
name? Who
his name
was?
was Pech Narin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a crazy Thai, just cuts people. He gets cut, he knocks them out. But like call me crazy, but I was watching his video and I was getting so excited just to fight him, you know? Like I was so excited, and yeah, thoughts creeped in, but it was my best fight to date, and I knocked him out in the third round.
Oh wow. So,
Yeah,
so the thoughts creeped in, saying, this guy's really good. Maybe you can't beat him.
yeah. And
What did you
it's
do about it?
yeah, but I was also excited to fight him. Like there's always this, two sides. The bad thoughts come and the good thoughts come.
Okay.
But I was so excited that I knocked him out. It's my best fight till now.
Okay.
It was
Awesome.
like my biggest challenge, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, you succeeded. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a story about John Wayne Parto's a story about when he fought a Rono and he got smashed the first time. And the second time they changed his opponent last minute and he said to a Rono again. And he was like laid in bed, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get absolutely so he didn't sleep or anything. He did go out and win, but he didn't think that he could. Um,
Yeah.
but he did in the end. So yeah, I was just wondering if you had those thoughts where, like John Wayne Parr that time, he's laid in bed like, oh my God, there's no way I can beat this guy. I'm dead. I'm dead. Did you ever have anything like that? And then,
No.
uh,
I haven't. Maybe because I haven't fought like the. I don't know. I don't know. Like mentally, I just don't go there. Like
yeah,
even if these thoughts come, they just pass by because I don't give them any attention. But no, it's never like I cannot sleep at night and I'm just worried. No, because I know like I can fight anyone. And I just try to not overthink the fight. Like I fought on short notice, 3 days,
yeah,
and I wasn't like in a full training camp. I was staying ready, but I just finished the fight test for 2 days, come back for training. But I was ready to fight. So my opponent was good too. I just didn't think about it. I just went to the ring, I fought, and I won the fight also.
yeah. Excellent.
So yeah, I've never had any experiences like I can't sleep. I'm sorry that I can't sleep. And for me, it's the opposite. Like on fight day, I sleep a lot
Oh yeah.
because I have nothing else to do. Just wait for the fight, so I just sleep.
Okay. Okay. Well, I was actually going to ask you about sleep. And outside of training, so you've done your training, you've done your 6 hours, and then how much time do you spend outside of training when you're back home relaxing, or out having dinner, even with friends, how much time do you spend thinking about the fight when it's been agreed?
I try like in fight camp I try not to think, like I force myself not to think about the fight.
Okay.
Like I put all my thinking is when I'm in training. Okay, I'm thinking about the fight, I'm thinking about the strategy. Technically, I have 6 hours to think about it. So when I come back home, I just want to relax. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah. So you said you just don't. Is there any tactics you have? So if the thoughts do come into your head, any tactics you have to deal with these thoughts?
Like, outside of training, the only time I think uh, about the fight is during visualizations. So like I relax, I visualize the fight going in a successful way. I visualize myself winning. If I have any thoughts of like I'm worried about his left kick, while visualizing, I see myself countering his left kick, blocking his left kick. And after I finish visualizing, I'm just okay. I've done my homework. There's nothing else to worry about. I can think about anything else. I can watch Netflix, go eat, just don't think about the fight because I've done
Yeah.
all I should do.
How often do you do the visualization?
During fight camp, I do it like the last 2 weeks.
So every day?
Every day, just
Okay.
yeah,
How long do you
relax.
spend doing it?
Mhm.
How long do you spend doing it?
I spend around 45 to 50 minutes.
Oh, wow. So you're kind
Yeah,
of
so
meditating on the fight.
uh
It's kind of like a meditation about the fight then. So you see.
exactly, exactly. Because like sometimes you can control your mind, but you know the thoughts that come and you can't control. So sometimes I'm just sitting at home and suddenly I'm just thinking about my opponent's kick, you
Mm.
know. So what I do just I put myself 45, 50 minutes, visualize everything that worries me. I just like have a solution for it. And when I finish after 50 minutes, I'm just so confident. If any thought comes, I just let it go because I've done everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, amazing. That's yeah, a really useful and effective mental preparation technique. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And how have you seen the benefits from that? Have you seen a difference since you started doing the visualization? Has there been any
Too much. Like it helps a lot with the confidence. Like because I know the physical training I'm doing great, and I'm ready, especially before the fight. When I'm thinking, when I'm sitting before the fight, okay, physical training is great. Then I think that okay, my mental training is great. Now I'm ready to fight. Everything is ready, so I don't think about anything else. That's how I control my mind. Don't let any other thoughts come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it helped me a lot with my confidence.
Yeah. I bet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And so you said you don't lose any sleep at all then about the fight. You said it's all you put
No, no, no.
thoughts.
Yeah, because I do my visualization, like inside this 45, 50 minutes, okay, I have something I'm worried about, I just have a solution for it, and after I finish, okay, can continue my life. I can watch TV, do
Yeah.
anything. I sleep normally. And
Yeah.
usually like from the physical training, I'm so tired, so I just sleep. It
Yeah.
doesn't worry me.
Yeah. That's actually great what you said. That I can continue my life because for some people they can consume
And
that.
it happened a lot with me also.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, like when I matured more, I thought like, man, I'm just overthinking for nothing. Like it's not getting me anything. No,
Yeah.
it's not helping me. It's the opposite,
Yeah. So how
So
long have
it's,
you been doing the
if it affects
visualizing?
my performance, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Yeah. Amazing. How long have you been doing the visualization?
I've been doing it since I came to Thailand, but
Okay.
like, yeah, but even my visualization got better when when my fights, when I fight more, my visualization gets better. Like
Okay.
I have a more clear mind.
Okay. Okay. I guess it all just comes from experience, right?
Exactly, exactly.
We talked about training, and you said that you just do it anyway. If you're tired, you do it anyway. How about during the fight when the fight gets really tough? Have you ever had fights that are really tough and you're thinking, "Oh my God, like I really have to dig deep now," and you
Yeah.
did? And how did you do that? Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, I've had some fights that were like very tough, and like I got caught, sometimes I got knocked down,
Hmm.
but like the most challenging fights, I overcame them and I won.
Okay.
So yeah, I dig deep because, as I told you, for me the fight is easier than training. Like if I can finish my training session, I can finish the fight for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, and it's about like why am I doing it? Like your why for the fight and for your career. So this motivates me inside the fight.
Okay.
But usually I don't like I dig deep inside the fight, but I dig deep more inside training.
Okay.
Well, I'm so prepared for the fight. My conditioning is so good that it's easier than training.
Yeah. But how about if you get hurt? Because I mean, I'm sure you're pushed very hard in training, but I guess the guys, they don't really smash you in sparring, I'm guessing, or am I wrong there?
No, 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 of course, they can no, they don't.
So how about when the fight gets tough? Like you said, maybe you've been elbowed, you've been cut, or you've been knocked down, or you've taken a few leg kicks. Like, is there anything you say to yourself, or is there any voice that creeps in to help you keep going?
I just remind myself like what I have been through, like throughout my career, throughout the training camp, and I continue. But even like the challenges inside the fight, if I get cut, I get knocked down, I just continue because I don't focus on it. Like my last fight, I got 3 cuts and I didn't feel any pain, not because I'm strong, but I'm so focused on the fight and on my opponent and on winning the fight that I didn't even recognize that I had cuts.
Okay.
And even once, like I was knocked down, I just came back up, continued, and I won the fight. So it's about it all comes back to the preparation, to the training, because like if you start the round with 30 kicks, or 50 kicks, and you continue the round. Then when you go to the fight, you get knocked down. It's easy to just wake up and continue the fight. Like nothing will affect you if you don't focus on it.
Okay. Okay.
Like that's why even like inside the fight, I don't feel much pain, not because I'm strong or tough, but because like I don't focus on the pain. I'm just focused on my opponent and on winning the fight.
Okay.
But after the fight, you feel everything.
For sure. So which was your toughest fight then, where you really felt it afterwards, but during the fight you were so focused, you managed to power through and get the job done despite maybe being knocked down or cut. Which was
It was when I got knocked down once.
okay.
Like it was even like in my first few fights. I knocked the guy at the end of the first round,
Okay.
but then he was saved by the bell. I
Okay.
entered the second round. I wasn't so experienced, so I just wanted to knock him out. Although he had 1 minute break, so he was not affected anymore by the knockdown. So I just went all in, and I got knocked down by a high kick.
Okay.
I woke up and I continued fighting. I dig deep. I wasn't being so skilled or smart when I was fighting, but I just dug deep and I just wanted to win. So I just didn't stop fighting. Even like if I watch my fight now, it's not my best performance, but at least I got the win. And
Yeah.
it was one of my first fights.
Okay. Who
Like
who
now I'm more smart. Like I can dig deep and fight tough, but fight smart too. Back then I just fought and I just wanted to win.
okay. Okay. Who was this fight against?
It was against a Thai called Kwanjai. He had a very good high kick, and I like even before the fight I saw that his high kick is good, and I was defending it the first round. But after I knocked him down, I just threw out everything out of the window
Yeah.
and just went all in. So I get caught by a high kick and he knocked me down.
Yeah.
But I won the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you remember, was there a voice that popped in your head when you got knocked down? Did you think anything, or did you just instinctively get back up?
It was on autopilot, just instinctly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just went.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
That's why I talk about training, because if you don't stop in training, during training, if you don't stop when you're tired, when you're exhausted, then during the fight you don't even need to think about to push yourself. You just push yourself because that's what you do every day, every session.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, there's another question I've got. I mean, this may not be applicable to you because obviously you're based in Thailand, but I want to ask about like bad blood fights. Any, maybe you've had some beef with a guy who you're about to fight,
Oh
and
yeah,
how's
this
that?
time it's not applicable at all.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
no,
like
no, no.
yeah. Like even before the fight, your opponent sometimes he hugs you, and
Yeah, yeah,
during the rounds, like each round when he tells me, "Oh, I'm sorry" and everything, so it's not
yeah,
applicable
yeah,
this
yeah,
time.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I just wonder because some guys, especially, obviously, I'm from the UK, and then UK domestic scene. Every now and then, there's a bad blood fight, and you know, even in MMA, there's a lot of bad blood fights, and
Yeah, and I would
it,
like to have a fight like this, like
yeah,
like rivalry or something, just to see like maybe I think it's an additional motivation.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, this is what I've come across. Obviously, people are very motivated to train. They really want to win. But like you just said, when you went flying out after you hit him with the head, after you knocked him down, then you got hit with a head kick. I think, sometimes you fight with emotion and don't fight,
Yeah.
with smarts.
Yeah, emotions. Yeah, yeah. It's like the worst thing. Like even sometimes, if you watch my fights, you see, like sometimes I'm smiling, or sometimes just telling my opponent to come. But honestly, it's just on the outside, because on the inside, I'm not emotional. Maybe the first few fights I was emotional, but now maybe also I make mistakes, just like my skills. I kick wrong sometimes, or my timing is bad. Maybe sometimes my emotions come in, but I try to keep them in control and fight not with emotions, not at all.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. Yeah. So I guess when you said at the start of your career in Thailand, it would have had a bit of a negative effect then if you're fighting with emotions, right? Like in the fight where the head kick.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I'm fighting in emotions, like even the fight that I knocked him down and he knocked me down, like I continued the fight on emotions. That's why my technique was so bad for the rest of the fight. But I got the win, but I won't do it again.
Yeah.
I was just fighting by emotions and no skills. But
Yeah.
I won the fight, but I learned from it a lot.